Welcome back to my garage. It's going to be a scorcher today. So I did my work early and then I'm going to just have to find something to do indoors. I did finish tucking the rear bumper. I'm very happy with the way that looks. It's plausibly like it was intended that way all along. So this gap now is much narrower than it was, and I've eliminated that plastic strip that I had to add that was bowing in the sun. As far as how it's mounted, you can see why I had to cut away a bunch of the steel from the bottom of the rebar. This is how it works. The socket can now get in there comfortably. Top bolt, middle bolt, and bottom bolt. You can see how this bottom bolt is so long that the bracket hangs on it even while the bumper's outside the confines of the frame rail. So when I push it in, the long bolt guides the bracket, and the bracket can't hit anything and chip anything. So I'm going to call this part of it done. And I think the overall profile is nice. I like that. So really the only thing left to do on the body is so-called paint correction. I'm never going to get it perfect, but I'll make it as nice as it can be for a garage DIY job. That's for later though. So next on the docket is the rear seat. So I've taken apart the Mark 1 Scirocco rear seat, mostly to try to see what I can use, and also to sort of stare at pieces and make a plan. First things first, this wire frame is what the lower cushion is mounted upon, and then the wire frame is itself anchored to the floor pan above the fuel tank. These wires here, these curved wires, their shape is determined by the shape of the floor pan above the fuel tank. Now since I use the TT floor, these aren't going to be correct, so I'll have to redo those. That's convenient because I know everyone chuckles when I say Mark 1 Scirocco's just dissolve. But look at this. I didn't cut that wire, it literally just dissolved so that the end of it is sort of tapered down to nothing and it just disappears. Same thing over here. I'm assuming this car wasn't submerged in salt water. So I'll have to either remake this completely or maybe try to sandblast this peripheral part, which is still solid, just very rusty, and then remake the 4 cross wires here. I'm not sure which is going to be more cost effective, so I'll see. I'll probably just try to sandblast a little piece of it, and if this cleans up easily, I'll try to salvage the peripheral part of it. But if this is going to cost me $300 of sandblasting media, it's not worth it. I'll just remake the whole thing. So we'll see. These are the cushions, the Mark 1 Scirocco cushions. These slots in the foam, that's how upholsterers achieve the tucked look. So they'll cut a slot in the foam, and then the upholstery itself will have a tab that protrudes, and that tab will have a piece of wire built into it, and they'll pull the whole thing through and anchor it to the backside. And that's what gives it that tucked look. So I'll try to take advantage of that and modify it only as needed to make it look similar to the front seats. So I may build up some foam here, I may carve some of this out, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do some experiments. I can't reuse these covers. They're in good shape, but they're just the wrong look. So the TT front seats don't have this pleated appearance, so I can't use these, but I will sort of look at how things were done and learn from that. This is one of the tabs that has a steel wire in it, and this gets pulled through the foam and anchored to the bottom or the backside. That's what gives it the tucked look. So it's flat now, but this would get pulled through and create that tucked look that we like, so that things don't look too flat. Anyways, I'm going to try to do the seat myself. That's going to be a learning curve. We have a sewing machine. Neither me or the missus are good with it, so I'll do the best I can to learn how to use that and practice on some scraps of pleather. I got plenty of those from the various dashboard projects. And if it looks like a skill I can learn, I'll try it myself. And if it's a disaster, I'll probably try it again myself. But eventually, if it's really that hard, I'll just drop it off someplace and have it done professionally. Anyways, it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. It is so hot already. I think it's going to be 100 today. I think I'm going to push this thing back in the garage before it bakes. And then I'll bring this all downstairs in a nice cool basement and start to stare at it and make a plan.